I met a gypsy.
I don't know, because it is a challenge, and you know that the fan that I am of the company, right? But you don't want to see a world where, because the product is so good, in 1 year we go from 2 strokes to 4 strokes and 4 strokes to a completely silent stadium with no gas bikes, because again, then there is no competition as such.
Agree.
You know, so I think that there's got to be a way. Well, like, how would you feel about a state? Like, if, let's say that your bikes became so good that every single rider was on a Varg in the 2026 A1.
It'd be boring.
Would you lose? Yeah. Would you lose something from the experience?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would be the same if you have only Hondas there. It's also boring. Like, come on. No, you want to have competition, of course. Like, that's the whole.
But I think it's even different than like just one brand. Like, let's say everyone's on an electric motorcycle. Like, I think that there's, maybe I'm just being, maybe I'm being too nostalgic, but like the sound of the stadium and the sound of the bikes and the gate drop, like, I think it adds to the whole experience in that moment.
I agree. I don't think it should, like, to just remove the noise overnight is not a good idea. Over time, what could it mean? It can also bring opportunities.
I can definitely see opportunities.
So I can just give an example. We were at the first Super Enduro World Championship this year. I brought my girlfriend, she's not into motorcycles, and she refused. She didn't want to be inside the stadium. Like, after a few minutes, she just, I don't want to be here. There were a little bit of noise. The main thing was the fumes.
Yeah.
Like, there were so much fumes in there. Like, if any kind of environmental government did a measurement there, they would shut it down. Like, it's crazy, the air quality. Like, because they're all riding 2 strokes, in a smaller stadium. Like, it's disturbingly bad air quality. And I think in a Supercross, that's not the same issue because it's bigger, it's more open.
It's a little bit though. Like, even I've gone back from these first few races. San Diego, not so much, but like, dude, the Saturday after A1, I like felt sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I've just been sucking on race gas for a bit too long on a Saturday.
Right.
And like Phoenix next weekend,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that left Phoenix last year with like not poisonings, probably too, but no, there was people that didn't feel well from it.
So, I mean, we want to make this a family sport, right? And it is to a large extent, and that's the goal. But how many moms do you think want to have their kids breeding in that? That very few, I would say. So if you remove a large part of that, it will bring in much more people that would be willing, because it's like the sport is incredible. Like, it's so damn exciting. And like, I'm watching the races with my girlfriend, my mom, and she gets super excited, and she has never been on a motorcycle because it's such a cool sport. But I think, the fumes is a real issue. And I think a lot of people just decide that they don't want to breathe in that much, bad, toxic things, because it is toxic. And in terms of the sound, like, it's hard. Like, we don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to remove the sound. I think reduce would be good. Like, everyone would probably enjoy reducing it. Let's say that 20% of the bikes was electric. It would elevate the experience, I'm sure, for everyone. Like, because the gas sound lovers, they're still getting the full experience. Everyone gets a little bit less tired. The air quality is going to be 20% better, which is nice. If you remove it completely, it's a big step. No idea. But look at other, like, downhill, mountain bike, skiing. You have huge crowds. Who brings the biggest crowds in the world? Soccer, football. And what do? I mean, there is no engine noise. They use, of course, the crowds. You hear the crowd all the time, which is super exciting. The crowds are singing many of the times. You have music. You have live music. Like, they make the experience amazing. But I think, like, I wouldn't want to remove the sound now, but I think it's necessarily, it doesn't mean like, no, the experience is going to suck. I don't think so. But
Yeah, I don't think the experience would suck as a result, but I think you definitely lose something.
Yeah,
Like, and I think even, Formula E like it doesn't have the same vibe to it that Formula One does.
yeah,
But we don't see Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen and, Franco Colapinto and Lando Norris.
yeah,
Like, we don't see them in those cars.
yeah,
So it's not an apples to apples comparison. Like
yeah,
to make a real comparison, you would have to go like, okay, here's the race with the sound, and then we're going to take all the same guys in all the same teams with all the same storylines, and then we're going to make them drive these cars. And now does it suck? So I
yeah,
think that we don't really have like a fair comparison, but I think that I think that it just would need to be, and I know you guys are like committed to this, but I think it needs to still be within the ballpark where you can be competitive on a gas powered motorcycle. And I
sure,
think if that balance is maintained
yeah,
and like specifically maintained and intentionally maintained, I think that's the way forward. But I think once it becomes that if Eli Tomac was going 3 seconds a lap faster on his Varg or his Yamaha,
that would be boring.
then the switch takes place and we go from the 2-stroke to 4, and it never goes back,
Yeah. No, but that's definitely not the way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think if we look at, for instance, now arena cross, like it's great competition. Like we are there, like we can win and we can lose, and it's like we are not like we are exactly as competitive as the others.
Yeah.
I would say, like, because with different technology, also you have benefits and you have some like we are better in many of the areas. Like clearly, like we're really good in the start. We're really good at corners. Like through the through the whoops we suck. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
So we lose a lot of time there now, and that's one of the disadvantages that we have. But for the rest of the track, we're really, really good. So we compensate that quite well. So if you look at arena cross today, like I think we're faster more or less everywhere, but we're slower in the whoops, and there you see the difference quite well. But I think it's important, like when we are allowed, like we are now in many championships, like it has to be fair, and it is. I think in all of them except Super Enduro.
Yeah, because they've actually imposed certain levels of restrictions on you guys.
Yeah.
What would be involved in your mind to get the bike more competitive in the whoops? Is it just testing time, or is there something that would fundamentally have to change with the motorcycle?
I don't really know. I mean, we are testing a lot of things, and is it geometry? Is it suspension? Is it power delivery? Maybe you need a different technique as a rider, when you do it. I have never ridden whoops in my whole life. So for me to even
like you guys do it.
Yeah. So I mean, this is something that Seb and the race team are figuring out, and they're testing different things. But right now, we're not good in whoops. Will we get better? For sure. Will we become as good as a 450? I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah. So what would be, let's say next year they let you guys race AMA, motocross and supercross. Like, what does that look like for you guys?
I mean, first of all, we need to know in advance, right? Because if we're going to do that, we need to prepare. So like which guys are going to race, which team, how do we start training for that, preparing the bike? Like you need serious time to get ready for that. Yeah, I mean, let's see. But I mean, we have a few guys now that are doing really well on the bike. I think someone that really sticks out is Jorge Zaragoza. That is like, I don't know if you've seen him on the bike, but he's so damn smooth. And the first arena cross in UK, he won against Cedric Suberas, who's let's say the best French supercross rider, Dean Wilson. So I mean, he shows that he has really good speed. And
why doesn't my Varg have that suspension, Anton?
that is strange.
Mine came with very different suspension. Dude, he does look good.
Oh yeah, he's so smooth. Like it's insane. Like he hits everything so accurate. Like you just see him on the bike and enjoy it. And here, you see that's not on the oops. Yeah, so Jorge is amazing. I think if he would line up today at Supercross, he would be competitive, I think.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't win, but he would be competitive.
Where's this?
That's
Yeah, I think I would just love to see. God, the track looks so good.
Yeah.
Is that at
that's
your
at,
farm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They rebuilt it recently.
Yeah. Because it looks different.
Yeah.
God, the dirt's so good there when it's good, eh?
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.